As you know, Anthony Albanese is not the preferred Prime Minister of most of Australia. In fact, by a 2-to-1 margin, each way Albo is well and truly not the preferred Prime Minister. By basically 60-30, Scott Morrison is the preferred Prime Minister in this country. And even Labor supporters, only half of them think Albo is up to it. A quarter think Scott Morrison's the preferred Prime Minister and the rest don't know, which of course technically means they also like Morrison. They're just not going to tell anyone. There was a poll that Anna Caldwell had today, front page of the Daily Telegraph, that shows big problems for Joel Fitzgibbon and why Joel Fitzgibbon decided to try to save his backside and be the independent member, the independent Labor member for the Hunter. Because you see, he's in trouble. At the last election, this bloke, pushing the silly policies of Bill Shorten, was almost dumped out of his seat. 53-47. Well, according to the opinion polls that are out there now, it would end up being 50-50. Line ball. And when asked very specifically about the policies of the Labor Party when it comes to climate change and climate action, I made this nice and easy for people to understand. The biggest number think that the current stance will hurt. Only 18% say that it will help. And don't know is up for grabs. You get even half of them, you win the seat. Joel Fitzgibbon spoke truth to power last week. And I can't stand this bloke, particularly some of the financial connections that have been there to China, but still, he spoke truth to power.
I think the Labor Party has been spending too much time in recent years talking about issues like climate change, which is a very important issue, and not enough time talking about the needs of our traditional base.
And the power decided to ignore him.
Joel is out of step. He's out of step with not only the Labor Party, he's out of step with thinking across Australia. I'm trying to say as clearly as I can that Joel's thinking and the statements that he's been making for many months now are out of step with what Labor has agreed on.
We have agreed a mass suicide pact at the next election, just like the last one and the one before that and the one before that and the one before that. We will keep doing the same thing and hope for a different result. And while the headline of the poll reads very badly for the Labor Party, and it does, each way Albo, Cook, done, finished, but thanks to old mate Karen Rudd, they can't get rid of him. But there is a word of warning here for the government, and they need to learn there is a constituency that they are not reaching out to. In New South Wales, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party are refusing to pass any legislation to help Gladys Berejiklian and the Liberal National Coalition there. Their vote matters. Because, again, in this opinion poll, One Nation, absolutely a force. That was the force that almost tipped him out of the seat. But when you have a look at the primary vote in this particular opinion poll that was out today by YouGov, Labor at 34, Nationals 26, One Nation at 12, 10% Shooters, Fishers and Farmers, they've gone from 0 to 10% in the poll, and Greens are 8. Why do Shooters, Fishers and Farmers matter? Because let's go to the Eden Monero by-election that happened this year. Remember, this thing was only won by 735 votes. Liberal Party, 38%, Labor 35%, Greens 6%, Nationals 6%, Shooters, Fishers and Farmers 5%. That was 5,000 votes. But guess where their preferences went? Back to the Labor Party. Why? Because the Liberal Party had not heeded the demands of Shooters, Fishers and Farmers to deal with the Murray-Darling Basin project. It is why they have won seat after seat after seat in the most remote parts of New South Wales. They are telling you up front that they are the minor party force that is marching and will be marching all the way to the next federal election. So Liberals, don't assume Shooters equal Bogans and Bogans equals us, because it's not the case. These are free-thinking, freedom-loving people who can understand when they're being sold a pup. And they also know that the Murray-Darling Basin Plan is something that must be revisited now. If it had been revisited, even the beginnings of a negotiation, the Liberals would have got those preferences and presumably the seat in Eden Monero at a by-election that would have been the first a government had won against an opposition party in 100 years. Can't say you haven't been warned.